Hi, and welcome to our new podcast, On the Ride. I'm Dominic.
And I'm Scott.
On this show, we're going to talk mostly about cycling and cycling-related items and subjects and fun stuff that we like. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself first. I have 35 years in the bike industry. A partner and I started a bike shop about almost 35 years ago, a very small shop that kind of grew into a really big shop. So during that time, I got to meet lots of people in the industry and out of the industry, employees, customers, and that was, gave me a bunch of knowledge on that kind of stuff. Also, during that time, we were able to sponsor like bike teams, bike clubs, community events have all been great. There's nothing like giving. I think last year we gave almost 2 years ago, we gave over 100 bikes to a local community. And then we also supported multiple race teams from, beginning teams to, mountain teams to junior teams, women's elite teams to pro teams. So during that time, I've got to learn a lot about the racing and what it means to race at certain levels. And I also raced myself at both road and mountain over the time. So I've gotten a little experience a lot of experience. I raced for lots of years. It was a very good at being mediocre during that time, by the way. I think my son, who raced half the amount of time as me, was 10 times better than I was. So that is my racing part, what I know about racing. And Scott, you know about?
Very little. No, I'm here for the sarcastic and the funny. I've got a background in endurance sports. Started out doing half marathons, moved that into the half Ironman world, but a knee injury took me squarely off the run and out of the pool. And now I'm squarely on the bike. And that's when I met you about 10 years ago on the cow ride. Yes,
it was definitely an experience meeting Scott and how we became friends. And I'm going to save that for a little bit later because I think it's a funny story, and I think you will too. What we're going to start about, let's talk about upcoming events. So
upcoming events, the big one.
The most fun time for you.
Yes, for sure. The spring classics are what I like the most, short of the Tour de France. You've got Milan-San Remo coming up in just about a week.
Yeah. And the thing about Milan-San Remo, it's almost 7 hours of racing, but you only have to watch about 30 minutes of it. Those 30 minutes are the most exciting 30 minutes of bike racing you'll ever see. I don't care. We've all watched the Tour de France. If you have not watched Milan-San Remo, watching them go up the last Poggio and down that descent at speeds that are just the most amazing thing you've ever seen, jumping curbs, dodging light poles, barriers with no cover over them, and coming to a long finish. It's breathtaking, exciting, exhilarating. It's everything you want and scary.
That last 20 minutes is everything you want to see in a bike race for sure. And that descent, no joke. I'd be dragging my brakes the whole way down.
100%. My rotors would be glowing red. And you get to watch your man crush.
My man crush, my current man crush. I've had many man crushes before, but this is the man crush now.
He's a bandwagon jumper. Mr. Sagan, I remember being your one before this one.
My previous man crush, no doubt about that. But all things must change, and all good things must come to an end. So right now, I'm on the bandwagon of Mr. Mathieu van der Poel.
I've never seen anyone watch cyclocross racing and being so excited.
Cyclocross is the best.
It's not even exciting to watch.
It is the best.
He rides off by himself, and
that's what makes it the best. When you're a bandwagon fan, when he just crushes everybody. Mouth closed, nose breathing, crushing people. That's the best part.
And while we're watching racing, we found some interesting things in the bike technology. What is the crank length that I saw out there?
Is it 50? 150.
150.
Yeah, 150 crank length.
Yeah, people
on Jonas Vingegaard.
Yeah,
Vingegaard.
Yeah, Vingegaard. We're close enough. I don't understand that. I mean, I've tried to run shorter cranks, but as my older body has gotten used to pedaling a certain thing for so long, I'm stuck on what I'm at right now. But I don't know how that would work. I've read and seen that the power doesn't change, but I don't understand that.
There's got to be some theory behind it. There's no possible way that they'd be trying to pull this off and go to such an extreme if there wasn't some benefit, right?
You read the benefits are you can be more aero. You can, biggest thing is aero. You can bend over more. You can pedal better. You can do all these things.
I mean,
don't know.
I get the theory of a shorter crank length for crits, for turning. So you're not clipping that pedal on the downstroke in a turn. But
sprinters don't use those short crank lengths.
Right. The world tour rider. How often is Jonas Vingegaard sprinting around corners?
Yeah, and then that new aero bike with the new that new Colnago aero bike is using the new rules of aero. It's very interesting. I wonder. I think it looks good. I didn't like it in the beginning.
First rumors I heard was it was very heavy, and that was why you didn't see it out there early in the season. But they were all riding it at the UAE tour. So
I think it looks good now.
It's not a bad looking bike.
It was in the beginning. It was strange not seeing the C post and all this stuff, but I thought it looks good. So.
Is it truly a Colnago anymore though, with UAE as their new owner?
It's still a Colnago.
It's still once a Colnago, always a Colnago.
It's still made in Italy.
Okay. All right. I've been corrected.
There you go.
It's still made in Italy.
If you haven't seen a local race, you might want to check that out too, where we're talking about local things to do. We're lucky we have Legion out here, so we have some of the fastest crit races in the U.S. to watch. But you don't have to always go watch the pros. If you see one of your friends out there that who races, or his friend races, or a friend of a friend races, go to a local crit. They're super fun to watch. They're super exciting, especially in the last few laps, because crit races are definitely not afraid to hit each other, hit bars. Everything for the last lap.
Yeah, they will bang bars at 30 plus miles an hour and not think anything of it. That is crazy to me.
I did it for years, and now I can't imagine doing it.
I've done one race officially under my belt, and it didn't go as well as I thought. Turns out all the power in the world does you nothing if you don't have smart racecraft.
That's kind of how you ride still, though.
That's 100% how I still ride. You yelled at me on the very first ride you ever met me on, and you're still yelling at me for the same thing.
All right. So Scott came to our ride. First time he came was on a tri-bike. I didn't even yell at you that bike. I just gave you a dirty look, and we didn't talk.
That is true.
So because no one brings a tri-bike to a group ride.
For good reason. They do one thing and one thing only. They go fast in a straight line. I guess that'd be two things.
Yes.
They go fast in a straight line, and they don't turn. And I found out pretty quickly that the tri-bike on a group ride doesn't go over very well at all.
No. Then he bought a nice Venge. He came out.
Yes.
Looked the part.
Had all the power, but
strong.
no ride smarts. Still no ride smarts.
Riding out to the side, riding to this side, not putting stuff out. So I a few times may have chirped at him to let him know where he should be.
It was a strong chirp.
Just you don't catch on quickly, so the chirping has to be a little bit more.
Fair.
So, and the funny thing is, to this day, he rides straight. He's great wheel behind, but he still is all the mistakes he made riding. He's still probably making today. He's just a little stronger now.
Yeah, for sure. But I am a great draft.
You are a great draft.
Ask anybody locally.
Diesel
power.
No acceleration. I'm never afraid of you to ride away from me.
Get behind Scott. He'll close it up.
He'll close the gap because he waited too long for the group to go anyway.
Right.
So
right. What do you think? You want to transition into what our main topic that we want to talk about today? How cycling eats its young?
Yeah. The title of the show is going to be How Cycling Eats Its Young. And I want to go over a few things that happen in cycling and kind of, what could be done about it. Cycling as a community is not as big as it should be and I'm going to explain why I think that. So when cyclists start riding, that's the hardest part. And that's where all the riders need the support. There's very little support when you start. So let's just say you're going to get your first mountain bike. You're going to pay $1,200 hardtail.
All right. So you go get that bike.
It's a nice bike.
You're in the shop.
Beautiful bike.
What are you getting with that bike?
Probably getting some flat pedals and a helmet.
All right. No cool sunglasses on this first trip?
You probably have. You're going to use your Varnays or something old like that.
All right. The Ray-Bans?
Yes. No,
okay.
I want old school Varnay.
Okay. All right. So no cool sunglasses, some flat pedals, a helmet, and a decent entry-level bike.
Yes. And hopefully someone at least got your saddle height close to where it should be.
Hopefully.
It doesn't always happen at that level.
So then what? You go out, and where are you going?
You're going to go local. One of the local hills. I'm going to just pick Marshall Canyon because it's the closest to my house. So you got your bike. You're going to go ride. Now you're going to climb because you always start by going uphill. Every trail starts at the bottom of a hill. So you're going to climb for about 45 minutes or so, and no one showed you how to ride this bike, so you're in some gigantic gear, mashing away, killing your legs.
You went too hard, too fast, and you're probably clapped at the top of the hill.
Oh, you're dead. You're ready
probably hanging over the bars.
100%. You're ready to throw up.
Yeah.
So you get up there, you drink your water, and you try to conduct yourself to go ready to go downhill.
Right.
So now we're going to go down the hill. Downhill was great. It was the most fun thing. You're like, this is so fun. And you get to the bottom, and it was 12 minutes. And you're like, well, now what?
All told, you're in for what, maybe a 45-minute, hour tops ride?
You're under an hour ride, and you're like, that was fun. And you put the bike on your rack.
Yeah.
And you go home, you're like, well,
this is.
I was hoping for a little bit more. And then it's kind of like there's really no place to go without finding someone to help you from that point on. And let's just not say if you crashed or anything else like that, because did you use your front brake? Do you not use too much front brake? There's all these things that are really important to mountain biking that are very hard to learn from the beginning. And I think road cycling is even harder to get into because now everyone can ride a road on a bike on a road. But now let's just say you're going to do the whole process over again. You're going to buy your $1,200 road bike. You got a nice LA. You got all your equipment. Let's just say you went to a shop and they really took time to make sure you at least got, your shorts, your top, your helmet. They even show you how to clip in. So now you got a good start. So you're going to go out now.
Where are you going?
I don't know. Where should you go?
Are you going to ride around your house?
Of course.
Are there any routes that anybody told you about that you're aware of? Are there any good bike lanes out there?
Do you think someone, you remembered it when you buy a bike? Does anyone tell you about that? Does anyone go from there? There's very little of that. So now you're going to go out for a ride, and it's scary in the beginning. I mean, you got potholes. You have cars all over the place. And cars, for some reason, they don't like being delayed by that 8 seconds to go by you. So they may not be that nice when they go past this guy. And the first time he hears that from a rider, could be off-putting, scary, or downright piss you off.
Your confidence probably on the bike isn't quite where it could be after, or what it would be after, a dozen or so more rides either.
For sure.
Yeah.
So let's say we're going to get past that. You've made it past that point now. So
have you made it past the part where you pull up at a red light and you forget to unclip and fall over in slow motion?
For sure. At least twice.
Okay.
Two times. I was 3, but the average person I think is 2.
I've done it at least twice on the tri bike and once on a road bike. For sure.
And not counting the mountain bike because a bunch of times on the mountain bike because I got the first set of pedals that were out. That's no other story.
If you're coming into cycling and you're new and it happens to you, don't worry. It happens to every single person.
So now you're riding, and you're like, this is not bad. It's like, it's okay. I'm riding around. I got some sun. You're not getting the full enjoyment of a bike yet, but you're out there riding. So now you want to ride with people.
Right. You saw the group go past you in the opposite direction, and you saw them from across the road.
I want to do that.
And you're like, yes, I want. Really they waved at you.
Maybe.
But
you're like, they're going so fast. It looks so easy. I'm going to go find out where that ride is. I'm going to join in. I'm going to go to Montrose. I'm going to hop in when they go by.
Wow.
I'm going to go for it.
Deep and fast. I speak from knowledge of that very thing. One of my very first group rides was Montrose, and I was white knuckled the whole way.
So weren't people super nice to you on that ride?
Not so much. I had a small friend group of fellow triathletes that we decided we would ride Montrose because this was a good, tough ride and we needed the workout. And we got into that ride. And in triathlon riding, you only ride by yourself because there is no drafting in triathlon.
Yes.
That is a rule breaker. So now I'm in the bunch for the first time and I am absolutely petrified.
And I'm sure there's people all around just being nice to you and helping you out and saying, hey, Tri-Geek, why don't you pull in over here?
Not so much.
No?
Might have been just the opposite.
Oh.
Not very well welcomed.
Not the most
very well welcomed.
Dang,
no.
That's shocking.
The cold sweat running down my back out of pure fear being riding in a group for the first time and nobody giving me any pointers whatsoever.
Yep.
It was an event. It scarred me for life.
Then you still did it.
But I still did it.
You've made it past.
I made it past.
You made it past a lot of hurdles.
So let's talk about how do we get that guy that I'm describing myself from many years ago to out of that and into.
I have a couple steps. Of course, I'm going to come up with my ideas and I'm going to share them with everyone right now, and we'll see what everyone thinks of it. But I feel that it has to be not just one person or one entity that's going to do it. It needs the whole community to be part of this. So as a community, you can't change overnight. You need to become more welcoming, but we'll go how to make that few steps to make it a little more welcoming. So I feel that when you buy a bike, you should get a fit, maybe not a pro fit, but at least a fit of some sort. And just so your seat's right, fore and aft, and your handlebars in the correct positions, so you're actually comfortable on your bike. And that seems easy, right?
You would think so. You could definitely turn on YouTube for something like that, right?
That's a bad wormhole to go down. So let's leave the YouTube part out. We're going to go to, so the bike shops really want to help, but that's a lot. Bike shops are not an unlimited source of time and money because they don't have much of either one of those. So to help along with that, I feel that the manufacturers, Trek, Cannondale, Specialized, should give a labor credit to each bike sold. Every bike. I mean, we're not talking just the high-end bike because that's the guy who doesn't need it. We're talking that $1,200 bike guy. He's the guy we need to embrace and help, along to become a member of the cycling community. So I think a little bit of help from them to get him fit, comfortable on his bike. So now he's confident to go. He knows he fits on the bike well. So that's one piece he doesn't have to worry about. And the next thing is let's find him a place to go ride the bike next. So whether it's your local club, your local team, there's a bunch. In Cycle we have a bunch of them, and you could find the level. What do they want to do? Do they want to be a racer? Do they want to just do 50 miles in the future? Do they want to do grand finals at some point in time? And point them in the direction of these clubs. And the clubs should want to take them in because now they get new members, and the club and the shops can reciprocate with the clubs by saying, hey, we'll give you, do barbecue nights, do special nights for them. Try to get a relationship built all the way around where the club is happy to help get new riders, and they're happy to be part of your shop and this new rider thing to get a nice relationship going. And that would give you the start where now he has started in a community of cycling, not just left on his own, or she is left on their own to go try to make it. Because unfortunately, as we've seen through COVID, the make it is not that easy. We sold a lot of bikes during COVID and a lot of bikes are in garages. So we do need to do a lot more to find a way to make the first step of cycling, reachable and fun. Because as you know, and I know, there's nothing better than being able to go on a big ride. It doesn't have to be that big. You spend a beautiful day like we had this weekend. You go for a ride with some friends and you could chat, look around. It is one of the most fun things you'll ever do. And it doesn't matter if you're in an exotic place or if you're just in your neighborhood, seeing different neighborhoods, seeing, whatever, you see a new car, you see some hawk, it's amazing the things you get to see.
What you'll see on a bike in a 25-mile loop at that speed is more than what you'd see in a car in a 500-mile loop.
100%. Yeah. And there's, always stories to be told after, everything from who won the sprint up the hill or what you got to see. There's always something to share with your friends and the camaraderie it builds after. And that's one of the things that's not shown in cycling. That's not, we show the fast riders. We show, the guy in his Rafa kit, posed up someplace. That's not the most fun part about riding is. The part about riding that's fun is the community. And as a community, we need to find a way to be more welcoming and more nurturing to our cyclists.
For sure. Sprinting for those city limit signs.
That is fun, though.
That is the fun.
That is fun.
You will get caught sleeping more often than not.
Oh, you're chatting to the guy. Next thing you know, you're off.
Yes, 100%.
And the thing is, and to go along with that, as a cycling community, we need to be, nicer. We need to, wave. We need to say hi to people. We need to do simple things. I understand when a new rider comes to a group ride, it is scary for everybody. So, the thing is to be nice to the guy. Say, hey, this is your first group ride, ride in the back, be careful, you want to stay this close, maybe spend at least some time with them, even though I yelled at you, I did spend time with you.
You did spend time with me. And you told me that my wheels were not suited for me. And I'm cleaning it up very politely. That wasn't exactly what you said.
And different people I treat differently.
Yes. Yeah.
I was nicer to other people for some reason. You got the you got the full.
Yeah. You hate on the ones you like.
That's right.
Yeah. All right.
But so, and then along with that part of the cycling community, isn't it funny that no cyclists wear pro team kits?
Frowned upon from top to bottom. You will not see that, at least out here on the West Coast. I can't speak for the East Coast riders, but out on the West Coast, you will not see pro level team kit on any ride.
But that same guy will wear his Kobe Bryant jersey or his whatever team that he's on, proudly all over the place. But you won't even wear that kit on a ride.
Why not? Why can't we support the top level stuff? We do it in every other sport. Baseball, football, hockey. Why not in cycling?
It's something that maybe we should.
You want to try to start something here?
I'm not going that far yet, but maybe.
All right. I'll go that far. If you give us 1,000 likes on our first episode, this guy and myself wear a pro level team kit. On a Sunday ride.
I will go one step farther. We will get world championship kits, full thing, white bibs, white thing, and we will proudly wear them.
Oh man,
on the kit.
I've never wanted anybody to not like.
998 likes.
998 likes would be just enough.
And the funny thing is that years and years and years ago, I got this kit, and with Ronnie of all people talked me into this, a local rider here, a friend of mine, worked with us. I had the kit, and after a couple of days, I couldn't wear it. He could probably wear it though.
Yes,
I literally moved the kit onto him, and he wore it well. So, and I don't think he would wear that kit at this level anymore either. But and as a beginner, you don't know better, so you're like, I'm going to get the kit like everybody else.
Right.
And then you go to the rides, and they look at you like, they make the comments like, oh, what world championship did you win? Oh, were you there in Zurich or wherever it was last? It's a funny thing. Yeah. It's a definitely interesting part of our sport.
It's one of the parts of cycling in this sport that for some odd reason we take ourselves so seriously. And it's
100%.
It's crazy to me.
You talk like Masters Racing?
I'll talk about the kit in general, just in itself. For the new rider, like we're talking about, to put that kit on the first time, that barrier of just coming out of the house and getting on the bike for the first time wearing that thing, that is a tough sell for a lot of folks.
Literally, it's like your skin tight pajamas that you're wearing.
Right. They're tissue paper thin.
Yes.
And they're oftentimes loud colors or designs.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're showing parts of your body you might not want to show.
You're probably not comfortable with it.
No.
And then fast forward a few years into it, you won't think twice about going into the grocery store.
No.
Full kit and buying groceries.
No. Clicking through there with your shoes, the whole bit, not even like just waving away.
Yeah.
One more thing before we finish this.
All right.
The thing is about the whole thing about being nice to people.
Oh.
It's like, let's just spend time remembering that we're all on this sport together. And the thing is, like, we want to, say hi to our fellow riders. Like, simple. How about just a simple wave? You see someone going across the other side of the road, you can give them a wave. They're doing the same dangerous, fun thing that you're doing.
I'd take the middle finger at some point.
I think that means they have to acknowledge you first.
That would be some acknowledgement.
You get those from the guys in the cars.
Plenty of that.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, let's try to do one little thing on your ride. If you take anything away from this show, just try to be a little friendlier to your fellow cyclists. Orange County, talking to you. You're like the lowest wave percentage we have.
For sure, Orange County.
I don't know what it is.
This is directly at them. But in their defense, they're all pros, and they probably all have a personal trainer.
I can't wait. I can't wait for the comments on this one.
Yes. Well, that's okay. Bring on the comments. I love the hate.
You do. Well, I think that's a perfect way to end this show. So thank you very much for watching our first podcast. If you liked it, hit like, follow, all those kind of things. This is our first one. I don't know if you can subscribe. If you can subscribe. I don't know if you can or not because that's new to us. But definitely leave comments. And all the nasty comments, that's Scott, by the way. And you can find he has an Instagram. It's Scott.on.the.ride. Something like that. You'll find it. We'll get there. But you can send a hate mail just directly to him if you like, or leave it in the comments. No one's going to be happier to get it than he will.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.